It's a gear tester here. Welcome to my tabletop review of the Mamacita's bug out bag, the Little Mama's bug out bag. As long as I can remember, my dad, since my childhood, has referred to my mother as Mamacita, which in its most literal translation means little mama, but carries with it connotations that he thinks my mother's hot, attractive, and desirable. My parents are in their mid-60s, and my mom is indeed a little woman, a little mama. She is under 5 feet tall. She weighs 106 pounds soaking wet, and she's a lover, not a fighter. Okay, she's a wonderful little person. But when she travels in her car and drives 2 or 3 or 4 hours, she might have a little dog, some clothes, some dog food, and her Bible with her. And those are great things to have along on a road trip or on a day trip. But I wanted her to have additional gear and equipment. And so I put this bag together about 5-6 months ago for her. And I've been surprised at how often she's had it in the car. When I've driven down, I've checked and seen if it's been in her car when we visited her. And when she came up here today, it was in her car. And that makes me happy. So I want to go through what I've put in this bag. I'm happy for you guys to leave comments and suggestions in the comment section of this video. If you enjoy this video, hit the like button. If you don't, feel free to hit the down button. But let me know what you disagreed with me about. And I'm sure there are things that I've left out and things that you're going to think that I should have included. I'm working on 2 other series that I'll be releasing that have to do with go bags, bug out bags, and philosophy around this concept and idea of survival, preparedness, camping, and outdoor life, and being ready to self-rescue. And the first of those series is going to be bugging out with a toddler. That'll be a 3 or 4 part series. Then I'm going to have another series entitled Go Bag Typology. So if you're interested in this video, if you like this video and you're interested in those other concepts, or those ideas, bugging out with a toddler and Go Bag Typology, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. First rule of having a good quality go bag or bug out bag is that you do not have a strange attachment to the bag. If you put all the gear and equipment for your go bag, your bug out bag in a backpack that you just love, that's your favorite, most recent flame, the one that you've been saving money up for and you just got delivered by Amazon Prime last week, and you put all your gear into it, that gear and equipment isn't going to stay in that bag. It needs to be durable, it needs to be relatively affordable, and it needs to be high quality. But you need to not have be overly attached to the bag itself. So I purchased this bag used for about $19. It was missing these side straps and had a broken shoulder strap. And so I took it to a local sew shop and they stitched it up. The previous owner had already cut off the waist belt. But what this means is this pack fits my mother well. And it's a good color. It's got reflectors on it, which for her context, a bag that we're going to have in a car. She's not going to be doing any direct action raids, ever. So this is a perfect bag, perfect color, and it's very nice and durable. It's got additional space still, even with all the stuff that I put in it, so that she could add additional things like clothing and other things too. So first rule is you want to have a good quality bag that's affordable and durable, but if you really like the bag, find a different bag that you're not unusually attached to. The other thing I want to mention here is there's 2 things that my mom has not put in this bag that I've asked her to do, but she has not accomplished that task yet. I'm super impressed that she has it in the car with her, but what I wanted is 2 sets of socks in a dry bag and then a pair of comfortable hiking shoes, because oftentimes when she's traveling, she might be wearing slip-ons and different things. Comfortable shoes and a couple pairs of dry socks in the bag ready to go. But let's just start getting into the items that I have placed in this bag here. So we open here this first kind of main compartment. This is just a stuff area, okay, that you can put like a rain jacket and something like that. And that would be another good thing for her to add. But this first compartment here, we open it up and immediately I have a little Ziploc bag with a Right in the Rain tablet, a pin, and these little alligator clips these little clips that have reflective material on them. And I imagine my mom using that to leave messages. If she has to leave the area and she knows people are looking for her, she can write a little message on the Right in the Rain, tear that off and clip it to something, and this will be more likely that people will see it. I've also included a little message for her. You know, oftentimes if you're having to get into a bag like this, it's because there's been an emergency. Many people in the southeastern part of the United States have had their lives rocked. They've lost everything they own, and I'm terrified by stories of people running out of their houses trying to get to high ground as a flood comes through, and they have 2 bottles of water and a cat or a dog, a little animal in a carrier, and they lose everything. So I want her to be able to have some gear and equipment, not just in the car, but so she could potentially grab and get the high ground or whatever else might be going on. But if you're employing this bag, you're going to be feeling bad, right? There's been a fire, there's been a disaster. So the first thing I have is I just say, I love you, Mom. I want her to know that. Then I want her to take a deep breath. I want her to pray for strength. I want her to stay warm, dry, and hydrated. I want her to stop, look, and listen and smell every 30 minutes, whether she's sitting in the same place or hiking and moving. If you stop, you do a 360-degree look, you listen carefully, and you smell, you might be more likely to bump into people or realize that there's help available or be able to help other people. And then I want her to leave notes, info in a strategic, visible locations if you have to move. So that's what this little pack here for is initially, to just calm her down a little bit and then get her to start thinking and praying and engaging her mind rather than just her reflexes, the fight or flight mechanism. You can start to calm down. I've just got some cough drops. She likes these. These will remind her of her mom. My grandma would always have these. And they're cough suppressants, and they're individually wrapped. And so if other people just need kind of a pick-me-up, I think that's a great little item to have. Next, I have in a Ziploc bag some water purification tablets, okay, because that's likely something she's going to need to be doing. Then we have just a little grab bag. I've got some Cliff Energy shots. I'll just open up here. 3 packs of gum. I imagine using the packs of gum. She's not going to chew all this gum, but you might bump into people that are feeling down, sad, kids, and having a nice pack of gum that you can hand them. That's probably a good idea. Then I have some, a little Luna bar there. I've got 3 of these little liquid IVs to give flavoring to water. They might taste bad with those tablets, although I think those tablets don't taste as bad as the ones I've used in the past. We have a little honey stinger waffle and then 2 little energy shots from Cliff Energy, but these don't have any caffeine in it. My mom doesn't tend to drink caffeine, and the last thing I want her to do is be jacked up on caffeine because she gets super jittery and uncomfortable on caffeine as a general rule. In my bags, I generally have some of those Cliff Energy shots that do indeed have caffeine, so that if I need to stay up for a 24-hour period or something, I've got some chemicals that can help me do that. The next little pouch that I have in here is got fire starters and medical equipment. So I'm just going to open that up. We've got just little pocket tissues. This is this little orange little mesh pouch has various Band-Aids of different sizes, a scraped knee, a cut finger. That kind of stuff I think is important. I've got a number of these little moist towelettes that are compressed. So not moist, but they're a towelette. And when you tear them open and you put dip them in water, they expand. So you could use them for starting a fire if you didn't put water on them, but they could be used to as a filter. If she's going to be purifying water to filter out different things, or to just clean up, or to start fires. So there you go. I have an entire bottle of unopened Advil, ibuprofen tablets here, 200 milligrams. I have chapstick. I imagine that she could use this for starting fires as well as dealing with cuts, abrasions, and chapped lips. Then right here, I have a lighter and 4 little makeup pads that are already pre-dipped in Vaseline on the inside. So you could use those to treat wounds, burns, cuts. But then you could also use these to start fire. And I've got 2 lighters. I've got a lighter in another compartment because I think it's likely that she'll lose one of the lighters. The last thing I have here is hockey tape. And I spent a couple summers working in Yosemite National Park. And when my heels would get cracked or I'd get hurt and cut, I found Band-Aids didn't last very well, particularly on your feet. And so I found that this hockey tape works really well if you have a sprained ankle or you have a cut or abrasion. My heels sometimes crack if I'm wearing sandals a lot. And so this is just a great thing to have in terms of making your own bandages. You could even kind of make a pressure bandage and different things. So we got fire and we kind of got boo-boo things ready to go to help. Band-Aids and different items like that. I think it's important that you kind of compartmentalize these things, and having them all in Ziploc bags means that if this bag gets soaking wet we're more likely to not lose things. It also means that you can take one little bag out, use what you need, and put it back into the backpack, and you're less likely to just lose everything. So there you go. I then have these wet ones. So between the little tissue pack and this, if you need to go to the bathroom, these will do a good job of keeping you clean. If you have a wound, different things like that, this is a great little item to have along. I really like this version of the wet ones. And once you open them up, they stay moist for a long time, as long as you keep that locked closed, as long as you close it up well. So, I imagine my mom using this kit for 24 hours or less to sustain herself or others in the case of emergency. But I think she could stretch this food and different things out, because I've got more food in here, for even 3 days. Or she could help people. And that, when we want to be able to self-rescue, it doesn't just mean from a selfish standpoint. I want to have been able to respond to whatever disaster or problem I experience and be doing as well as I can be doing, so I can help other people. Right? That would be the goal, rather than just trying to selfishly survive ourselves. We want to be able to help other people. Just checking and seeing if I have anything else. I think it's important that your bag have enough space in it that you can still forage for other things or collect other items. If it's just jam-packed, the temptation is to add more and more and more stuff. This bag weighs in at 10.6 pounds, so that's about 1/10 of her weight. I think that's a good weight with water and other food items that you guys will see here in just a second in it. I think that's kind of a reasonable weight and size for this bag, but it's got enough space, that she could put other items in it. Don't pack your bag so full that if you come across other items that you might be able to use in an emergency, that you don't have space for them. Here I have a little fleece jacket that I bought at Goodwill for her, but it's a medium REI. It would fit over some of her clothes or underclothes, and it would just keep her warm. And so that's important to me. I love my mother, and I want her to be comfortable. I've got one of these little, this is not high quality. I think I got this. I don't even know where I got it. I think somebody gave it to me because they didn't want it. But it is a little plastic foldable 24-ounce, it's apparently for wine. Wine to Go is the company, but it would fit perfectly for water. Okay, so that's closed up. She can, this one isn't filled. I have a larger bottle, Nalgene in here that is full of water, but if she needed water or she wanted to use the Aqua Tabs and treat some water and then, use one of these flavor packs while keeping other water ready for cooking and different things, she could do that. So we'll put that there. We'll scoot down here. Then I have a little stove. I really like these little pocket stoves. This is a knockoff version that I think costs about $5. So it's a 2-position little stove. It's just a great little thing. It has a bunch of these little tabs. You can cook on those. And it's very lightweight. I'm not going to take it out of the packaging, but I've used these. I'll roll some video and stuff of me using this brand or another brand. But they smell kind of fishy. That's one drawback. But it's very lightweight, very simple to have along here. I will just open it up and show it to you. So here's the little thing. It just flops open. And then you have 6 of these tabs. And 4 of them will go in well, maybe all 6. I think all 6 will fit inside the stove if you wanted to do that. But I've left it with the instructions and stuff because I think that's going to be more useful to her. And there's still some space in the bag here. So it's super affordable. This does not work well in the wind, okay? So you're going to need to be in a semi-sheltered area. It doesn't work great in the wind, but it is a good little option. My parents and I have lots of little camp stoves and different things. But, one of the things we're wanting to do here is have stuff that we're not going to be getting in and out of. $5, you've got the ability to heat food if you need to. And, you're just going to have to try and get out of the wind. Then I have a humanitarian daily ration menu number 3 here. I've done some reviews on these and different outings where we've demoed eating these. This has a lot of calories in it. It has matches, salt, and different little items in it. And so that's enough food for her for a couple days easily. If my mom and dad are together, they will be comfortable for 1 day for sure with these food items. And they could make it last 2 or 3 days pretty easily. It also gives them different items. Everything's individually wrapped. What it does not have in this is these do not have the heaters, because the U.S. drops these into different countries if there's humanitarian issues or problems. And you can use the heaters in standard MREs to manufacture small little explosive devices, apparently. And so they don't have the heater. So that's why I've put this stove in it. The food is not dehydrated, right? The food is hydrated and you can just eat it, but it would be cold. So it's nicer to have it warm. And so that's why I've included this little stove there. But in the worst case scenario, they've got food that they can eat and be a little bit cold. Here is a 32-ounce Nalgene bottle with one of these little canteen cups that fits easily down on it, ready to go. So they can use that on the stove to cook, to drink, to purify, to boil water, and then purify with the tablets. Starting to have some kind of an extended set of gear and equipment there. I have a little knife. There is no way in the world that my mom is going to... Look at this. I got the flashlight on in here somehow. Turn that off. There's no way in the world that my mom's going to have a cutting tool on her. So this is a little Mora. They cost about $15. I have taped the handle so that it can't come out because I'm worried about, you know, her in an emergency slamming her hand down in the bag and immediately cutting your hand. And a cut to your hand in an emergency situation is going to leave you less likely to be able to pull yourself to safety, pull others to safety, and also is going to open you up to infections and stuff later on down the road. Then I have a bunch of paracord. Okay, a couple different colors, but I've cut these into, I think, about 12-foot lengths. Okay, there. And that's for the tarp that I have down in here. So this is, I believe, a 6x8 tarp. It's a cheap tarp from Walmart. It's lightweight. You know, lots of people have all kinds of camping tarps and things that are super expensive. This one is lightweight. You can put it on the ground. It's not ultra durable. It's not something that I expect they're going to live in or under for a long period of time, but it is going to get them out of the rain, allow them to cover a car if they're in a car and the windshield's been broken out or something like that. Put it on the ground to keep gear and equipment dry. So they kind of have some kind of a shelter right here with the paracord and that tarp. And I like these. I've taken these affordable tarps and at more expensive tarps into the wilderness on, you know, multi-day backpacking trips, 3-4 days into the wilderness in Montana. And when we have fires, the sparks go right through this, just like they go through the $300 tarp. So I tend to just buy these affordable tarps and use them and not be worried about sparks going through them and then throw them away. Lightweight, affordable. Then I have a little space blanket. I think this is a SOL, Survive Outdoors Longer, little space blanket. Then I have, you guys saw that the flashlight was on, so I probably should take the batteries out of this. This is just an affordable little flashlight that I quite like. It goes on the brim of a hat really easily. It's got different settings. It starts always on red, then it goes to white, bright. It doesn't have a super long run time, but it's very lightweight, compact, and I've included an extra set of batteries with it. And I think right now I'm just going to take these batteries out because I saw that it could come on. I've never seen that happen, but we'll take those out, and I'll tape those up just like I've taped these here after this video. A second lighter there because I think it's likely that, you know, in the hubbub of trying to get things done, she'll lose the first lighter that's in the fire kit potentially. There are matches in this, so we actually have 3 different ways to start fires easily there. I then have this bag. This is a bag that I got a bunch of these when I was working for a school and I was helping do landscape for them, and different bulbs and different things came. This is very much like a mesh bag that you might buy fruits and vegetables, that you might buy onions in. But I've washed it and cleaned it. I've used these bags. I've got a bunch of them when we go and glean different fruits, things like plums. And so I've used these. This is an additional little bag. So if they come across canned goods or other things that they want to take with them, they can, you know, my mom could add stuff into this bag, close it up, and put it even on the outside of the pack. So I think it's important that you be prepared to forage in an emergency situation. You know, the best case scenario is you bump into some other people that you can, hey, we'll give you a pack of gum and some wipes, and maybe they'll give you some beef jerky, something like that. But maybe you come across areas and situations where you can forage. Right now where I live, it's the fall, and there's an immense number of apple trees and plum trees and things that we could get food from. And so you might find that, you know, a flood wipes everything out and you're hiking along and you come across the remnants of an old apple orchard and there's apples and you want to take some with you. This allows you to do that and keep it out of your main pack. If stuff is sticky or yucky, you know, you can carry it in your hand or have someone else carry it. You know, guys, I think we are basically done. I'm not feeling anything else. I think I covered everything that's in this bag. Let me know what you think, what I forgot, what you would add, or what you would take out. Maybe I've included stuff that you guys think is totally unnecessary. If you like this video, please subscribe to the Gear Tester YouTube channel and make sure to hit the notification bell. That way you'll be alerted when I release other videos on quality gear and equipment. Stay tuned for my multi-part series on bug-out bag typology, where I'm going to go over different kinds of bug-out bags and what to pack and have in your bag. I've spent a lot of time thinking about this. I enjoy hiking and camping, and I think I've got a lot of information that would be useful to you. This fall, I'll be releasing a multi-part series that will discuss the realities of bugging out with a toddler. The most exciting thing to happen in my life 3 years ago was the birth of my son. And I love going hiking and camping and spending time in the great outdoors with him. But it changed my life and Mrs. Gear Tester's life in many ways. I now carry less gear and equipment when I head out into the great outdoors, and I leave space for things like diapers and formula and extra clothes for him. I've spent a lot of time hiking and camping and spending time with my son in the great outdoors, and so I've got a lot of information, ideas, and things I've experimented with in regards to what it's like to try and bug out with a toddler. I don't know what you're worried about, and I don't know what you're planning for. I don't know where you're planning on traveling or who you're planning on traveling with. But may you and your precious cargo always arrive safely. Thank you very much for your views and your subscriptions. This is the Gear Tester, signing off.